basically lead follow-up, right? This is all that we did. I think I did with you guys leads the other day, and you had a couple since then. And we wanted to identify where and how to generate leads for buyers and sellers, classify leads by ability and motivation, qualify a buyer and seller in preparation for an appointment, and to start thinking about today, let's consider questions we might. Really good thing that I do. So it's just because I've been doing it a long time too, and a lot of mine comes from my what do you call it, sphere of influence. Because I'm going to tell you, part of the deal is there's thousands of us out there. So how are we going to stand out? I think we talked about last time your value proposition. You guys were going to work on, and I don't know if anybody, Chris and Christy are here. Hi, Chris and Christy. Hi guys. So we're going to cover how to qualify our leads and contacts to uncover how to be able to do a transaction. Number one job as a real estate agent is to find ways to get in the path of motivated buyers and sellers. I'm motivated. Here we go. What myths do you hold about finding buyers and sellers? Let's start with the guys up on the screen. Somebody? Anybody? What are myths, or do you think are myths about this? Do you want to share an example of a myth you hold about lead generation when you first started in the business? I mean, some of you are brand new, so what's a myth that you think, or a fear you have about lead generation? Hello, participation, anybody?
This is Crystal Smith. I think, okay, it says, what myths do you hold about finding buyers and sellers? I think for me, it's just, being able to, vet out the right person. And, I really think that also everyone at some point is going to be ready. That's why I think it's very important to, make sure that you keep those databases up to date, and, you just consistently follow up, because, at some point someone is, the way that I think, so at some point someone's going to be ready to do something, whether it's selling or buying.
Right. So sometimes we get leads, right, that are kind of right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of times, in my opinion, some of those leads like Zillow or HomeSnap or any of those, I think sometimes they are just starting their process, and it's depending on how we follow up. I believe in 3: text, call, and email. If you have all 3 of those 3 times. Text, call, and email 3 times. I think we heard that over at one of the things, but it's the same belief I have. So anyway, that's a thank you, Crystal, for sharing that. That's a good. It's a truth, is that eventually they may, or they may know somebody, or they may need a lease. There's some kind of real estate question they're going to have, and you want to be the person they go to.
Right.
Because we're all over the place. Everybody is all over the place. Anyway, so National Association of Realtors collects data. That's what this is from, every year on buyers and sellers' experiences with the real estate transaction. This table shows you the results from the survey as of 2021. What does the numbers tell you? Well, numbers have changed since then, but what does it tell you about 2021? Referral from a friend, neighbor. First time buyers is 57%. That's what I was talking about earlier about your phone. You may be calling somebody, like we just did I don't know if you guys have taken Bold yet, but there's something called a reverse Bold where you get people to call in. It was okay for the first time, but this is my first one. So every month we're going to have a giveaway where they call in to win. Well, that way I'm touching 20, hopefully 20 people and on that day, maybe more, 100 and all in one day. And with those people calling in, we're asking them questions like their name, their email, their address, if they're willing to give it to us. And then I ask them, can I send you they each get an entry for that, just for calling in. Then they get another entry for allowing me to send them my KW app. Then they get another entry for allowing me what was the other one? To put them on the VIP list, right? We call it a VIP list. And then the other one was, do they know because it was a SoFi Stadium tour. It's a pretty cool experience. So we had 4 tickets for that. So what we also said was, if you know 2 people or anybody in the next 6 months that's thinking about making a move, you have till 5:30 today to call us back. Well, nobody did this time because they were all friends of mine calling in, but eventually that will become a really warm lead source. And I would call that a referral from a friend or a neighbor or relative, because they've now referred you from that name, which takes out a lot of the mystique. So a used agent previously in a transaction, I have a lot of repeat clients. The more you do and you take care of them, the more you'll get repeat clients. Like, yeah, I released a place up in the Riviera to this guy I met on a call. I had a lease, showed it to him. He ended up moving in there, stayed there. The seller's mom died. They wanted to sell it. We showed it around other properties. He finally came back, bought that. Now he's tearing it down, putting a new house, and I'm helping him find a lease for the next one because he trusts me. He knows that I know him. And I found him the perfect home the first time, the second time, and now the third time. So it's all about, as Crystal said, keeping them in your database and touching them, not just holding them in there. They inquired about a property they saw online. 7%, that's an average. I mean, that's not great, but it's still, these are for the buyers, by the way. Website. All buyers 7%, first time buyers 9%, 6%. That means your website, right? They went to your website. How are they getting to your website? I don't see a lot of people marketing their website except for maybe Caskey, a couple other big agents, and that's it. So it's something I would think about. For sale, open house signs. I used to get a lot more sign calls than I do now. And I think it's because of Zillow and Redfin. It's just so accessible. Sign calls were great before, because what would happen, like when we were looking for a house, tell me if I'm going off tangent, you guys don't want to hear it. Okay, so, but I remember driving through we used to move to a neighborhood and we'd drive to the neighborhood for sale signs. And that's how we picked our agent sometimes. But granted, that was a long time ago, but it's just a thought. Referral from another agent, I get a lot of those, and visited an open house. So on the open houses, we had 5 come through this weekend. None of them had agents. They all looked at Redfin, Zillow, Trulia. They found it online, basically. So when they come to that open house, we let in with many questions that make it so. And Sheena was with me, so she's following up with everybody today. I gave her a little script to say, thanks for popping by. We appreciate you coming into our open house at blah, blah, blah. Is this a home that works for you? If it doesn't, we'd love the opportunity to help you find something else. We often get many off market. We'd like to be able to contact you. Boom, done, small. Didn't have to go into a big, long email, okay? Keep it simple. So then have the seller spot. This is all from the National Association of Realtors. What methods of generation to follow up with cover and ignite and align where the buyers are finding them? So these are the sellers. I gotta do sellers. So like buyers, sellers are finding their agents through referrals. See up there? First time sellers too. A higher percentage are using an agent they have bought or sold with before. And this is a great reminder that follow-up isn't just for the leads and contacts, it's also to maintain relationships with clients post-transaction. So it tells me to ask you what follow-up tools from session 12, and I don't know what that was last week. I didn't teach last one. So would you use to cultivate business for a repeat seller? Anybody? Did you go to session 12? Last Friday or Thursday, whatever it was. Anybody? Do you guys have any ideas? Oh, Michael, hang on. Okay. Anybody? Nope. Okay, I'm gonna move on. So anyway, here's some numbers that you can see where you get your business. Obviously, it's used agents. It's like I said, repeat and referral is my business. Personal contact, referral from another agent. I also do business to business. So command opportunities. These are the leads and contacts. These are where you can put them in the opportunities. It's best to put your A, B, and C potential clients into opportunities, which are the ones that are in the next 60, 90, 30, 60, 90 days. Any ahas anybody wants to talk about? Okay, so here's where we talk about the classification of your leads. You know what? Everybody does it differently, and I want you to be comfortable with the way you do it. So you probably heard ready, willing, and able, or ready, able, and willing in many contexts in real estate. We think about this order a little differently. We say able, ready, and willing. What are they classifying our potential buyers and sellers? Why do we start with able? Well, we start with able is, are they able to buy? Are they qualified, right? Are they you know, is it even worth our time? That's my whole thing. Oh, there's somebody in chat. Hold on. Sorry. Connection is so bad over here. Maybe the fog layer. Oh, really? Sorry. Okay. Maybe it'll rain for a change. So I even thought about all leads and contacts have potential. They are not all going to close on a home next month. Some contacts may not be able to either buy or sell at this time, as Crystal mentioned, right, Crystal? So a seller might be able not to sell the house because they don't have full rights, or the property, or have non-mortgage liens on them. You know, there might be things happening in the seller's life that we don't understand. We get a lot of information, but we start with the able. So who's able to sell right now or buy? The quote, focus becomes increasingly possible in direct proportion to how clear you are about what you want, when you want it, and what you must get, and what you must do to get it. This doesn't just apply to agents, it applies to everyone. When buyers and sellers know what they want, when they want it, and what they need to do to get it, then the role of the agents is clear. Help them find the property they desire and close the transaction. Today, we're going to cover about how to know when a contact is able, ready, and willing to buy, which is actually a really good thing to know. Here's your come from curiosity. Those are those open-ended questions. Why are you selling? Where are you going next? Right? What other questions can you guys think of up there in Zoom land? Anybody? What would be a great open-ended question to ask a prospective buyer or seller to find out if they're able? Do you have, okay, maybe it's a probate. Do you have the authority to sell? Right? Maybe they're just an heir. They don't have authority. Oh, you have the authority. Great. Can I see the recorded document? They get, it's called a letter of administration. They should have that. a trust, or you just, you know, oh, my family wants to sell the house, you pull it up, it's in trust. So the question is, are you one of the trustees? Does that make sense? Are you guys so that's how you're finding out if they're able to sell. Not if they're willing. We know they're willing because they just said we want to sell the house. And then maybe there's a mechanic's lien on the property that you found when you pulled the title. So they're not able to sell yet because they got to figure out what that is. Maybe that's not something. So there's a lot of information that you want to strive to get as soon as possible. But let's say they are the trustee. They filed all the papers. There's no dispute. It's a trust sale, so there's no court confirmation, anything. So it's a seller that says, I'm able, I'm ready, and I'm willing to do business in the next 0 to 14 days. That's it. And then the next one is able, ready, and willing to do in 15 to 60. So these are the time periods that that Gary talks about. I put them all in, but these are ways you can sort them out. A, B, and C. Remember how I mentioned that earlier? Any questions so far? This is not as exciting as I like, but so with the able, ready, willing framework in hand, we're almost ready to qualify potential buyers and sellers. What we need now are the questions and conversation starters that will help us determine who is able, ready, and willing. In this section, we're going to cover on how to use the buyer lead sheet and pre-listing questionnaire. And as our qualification tools. Do you guys have those in your workbook? I don't know. I'm just asking what you have. I don't have a copy of it. Do you guys have a workbook that you use? Anybody on Zoom? Do you guys have a workbook? Because it keeps saying refer to the workbook. Huh? No, okay. Well, basically, in the last section, we started with the win-win of qualification. Our potential clients win because we provide them with the right value at the end, at the right time, and we win because we get to focus on attention on helping clients who are ready to buy or sell. So let me ask you this, based on what we covered in previous sessions about segmenting your database, what might be some additional advantages of qualifying leads and contacts? I don't even know what that question means, but anybody? No, you guys are not participating today. It's so much more fun when you guys participate for me. So
Can you
basically,
repeat that question one more time?
yeah, thank you for participating. It says, based on what we covered, this is their questions, not mine, but I'll reword it. Based on what we covered in previous sessions about segmenting your database, you know, the A, B, and C, what might be some additional advantages of qualifying leads and contacts? So, like, you know, maybe you can qualify them by high school reunion, right? Or sphere of influence. That's how mine are broken down. Ages. I do things like that.
I think for this time, some buyers that was ready with the pandemic or maybe the job, they are not ready anymore.
Oh,
They
because they
want
lost
to
the
go
job.
for the short time, and they want to wait for the month. Maybe in the December or the next year, and the classification changes.
That's very good. So, and that's what I was leading to next. So explain how, so our B buyers often need different messages, such as how to save more for down payment. Maybe they don't have enough for down payment, right? Maybe, like she said, they're waiting to get some time in their new job because they were let go from the pandemic. Interest rates could impact their buying power. They're like, oh gosh, now I can't afford $750. I can only afford $650. I'm going to wait for the market to adjust to that. So asking questions about digging deeper in your question answering, open-ended questions, because not yes or no. Open-ended questions dig deeper into buyer or seller's psyche. You guys get that? So on a buyer, it needs to know what listings are available right now that fit their need right now. So those are the people that are ready and willing to buy in the next 0 to 14 days, according to this plan. You know, they want to get in escrow. Maybe it's somebody relocating from another area that has to buy something. They've sold their home in Indiana and they're moving out here for a job and they've got to buy something. Those are the ones that you want. So how would you get somebody that's relocating? You know, a great lead source would be headhunters, you guys. Those job search companies that find jobs for Tesla, for SpaceX, for, I don't know, lawyers, nurses, all those people, make doctors, you know, they recruit all the time. You want to be in bed, per se. I don't know if that's the right word, but you want to have a really solid relationship with a headhunter, job recruiter. You guys understand that? You want to add to that? No, I guess not. Okay. So we use the same, so A buyer, so another thing, the C buyer. Meanwhile, our C buyers might be interested in potential changes in their current neighborhood, like the restaurants, shopping options, or road construction. We can make our touches more valuable to our database by knowing the message. So that's why we're talking about segmenting your database. A's are now, so you want to send them properties that are on the market. B's are people that may have to fix their credit, may have to save some money. Maybe there's a job that they're waiting to get some time. That's a different message. Those are messages like maybe credit repair companies. Those are messages you can send them. But see, a lot of times agents don't dig or care. They just want the business now. The problem is somebody else is going to get those people by answering their questions. Yeah.
I have read that they say me call me in December. Call me in.
But did you ask them why to call you?
Yeah, they changed the job and
They changed what?
The job.
Mm-hmm.
They would be for 2 years job in the September or maybe I kind of read that she would get a rise.
Oh, a raise, right.
A raise in the new like manager.
Right.
I try to say call me in 2 months.
Right. Did you guys hear what she said? Can everybody on Zoom hear that? Or understand? What she said is she has a client that says, call me back in December. Because she'll have 2 years in September at her job, and she thinks she'll get a raise to a manager or something, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about that. Why would you wait till December to contact them? What's some ideas you could do now? Anybody up on Zoom have an idea for her that she could be doing every month, once a week, every 2 weeks? I do. I can think of about 10 things, but I want to hear from you guys.
Probably doing like a smart plan.
Well, yeah, but what would be in that? So you've got to be it's got to be a smart plan, right? Those smart plans for me are sometimes difficult to because you have to have a message with that. You can send it, right? You can send a smart plan that says, hi, Michael, you know, because you can put first names, blah, 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 in your email or text, right? But what you want to do is send them something that answers that problem. Maybe there's info that they don't have to wait 2 years. Maybe she thinks she needs to save 20%. As you guys know, there's all those programs that you don't have to. So I would start including them, and this is just me, okay? You guys do what you want, but that kind of buyer, I know, it's like, that kind of buyer, to me, needs information that's accurate, not just internet stuff. So you want to be able to either do a video, or you want to bomb, or you can send a video via text that says, let's see, hi Evelyn, this is Lauren Cotner with Keller Williams. I learned something today that I thought might be useful to you. Click the link, maybe it's a YouTube thing, right? Or maybe it's a flyer about a home buyer seminar that Chris is doing on 27th. Those are the kind of things that you should be doing to those buyers that are later, because they're going to come in here and they're going to get an aha and say, well, I can start now, right? Some of them, Fernando has a thing where you lock the rates now. And then if it goes down, you get that rate. But if it goes up, you don't have to go up. So the conversation is about what their needs are. And if you don't know what their needs are, guess what your next phone call is going to be? Hey, I was updating my database, wondering, let's see, let's have a conversation. Let's say, Evelyn, you guys haven't gone in your database in a while, right? So we would call up and say, hey, Mr. Buyer, this is Lauren Cotner from Keller Williams. I'm going through my database and I realized I haven't reached out in a while. I really appreciate your patience. I don't always like to apologize because then it's, so it's better to acknowledge that they did the right thing. So I appreciate your patience on my response, but I wanted to kind of confer if you're still in the, if you're still in the future of buying and what your holdup is. I mean, you can have a conversation because somebody else is going to have it when they walk into an open house. Because I was at an open house, people are not going out with their agents. When I was new, I took all my clients in an open house. And if I couldn't, they had my card and they say, Lauren sent me. Or I'd email them and I'd register them and say, my clients are coming to your open house this weekend. We don't do that anymore. We just let them go off and go do their thing. And that agent will say, oh, I'll represent you, because 90% of the open houses are not held by that listing agent. They're new agents in the offices. So they just got a deal that you could have had. Another thing you could do is when they do go to these open houses, send them a thing and say, hold on, let me get this one. You could say, hey, John, how was the open house? What was your favorite feature of the house and what was the worst? Just do a follow-up. Hi, Kendall. Ooh, let's turn off the mic. Somebody's mic is bumping. Kendall, can you turn off your mic? So anyway, the buyer qualification process is the same as the seller qualification process. And we have to always make sure that we're in compliance with the fair housing regulations. I have to say that. Documenting their qualification system and having a checklist makes it easier to be consistent and ensures they will provide every client with the same high quality consistency. A documented system can also be a lifesaver if you're ever questioned about your practices. So what they're talking about is maybe you ask one person one thing and you don't ask the next person the same thing. Well, maybe after your questions, you don't need to ask them that. But if you have a checklist and they come in, hello, hi, Stephanie, or Kendall, sorry. Oh, there it is. It's Stephanie Kendall or Kendall Stephanie? It must be Stephanie Kendall. Okay. So here's a buyer lead sheet. See how it has an agent taking you out and showing you any properties. Is there anybody else buying a home with you? That's an important question, because if there's decision makers that aren't going on these properties with you, and then they come in and go, I hate this. Maybe it's a mother that's giving them the money. Or maybe it's a spouse, right? That they always, like, a lot of times I'll take out, the wife goes through and picks out the one she likes, and then he has the final say. Or it's the other way around, right? So you got to know that. You got to know going in, is there anybody else? And if there is, they say, yeah, my wife's going to do all the searching, and then we're going to narrow it down to 5. Okay, so you know that. Put that on your notes. How long have you been looking for a home? These are open-ended questions. Oh, I just started. If they're in the starting process, you better show them everything on the market, even things a little bit above and below their price range. I'm curious, why are you moving? Oh, shoot. Get this. Do you know, maybe they're renting, right? Do you rent or own? Okay, I'm renting. Do you know when your lease is up? Yes, that's why I'm calling you. Do you need to sell your current home before you get in your next home? These are really basic questions, but it's a great sheet to use because it's the same question. And you can skip over, right? Let's say they've already answered a couple of those questions. You don't want to ask it again. You sound silly. You sound, let's see, Kendall Stephanie. Hi. Oh, it is Kendall. Is your first name? Okay. Sorry. Maybe I'm saying your last name wrong.
No, it's
Stop.
correct.
Okay, thanks. And it says, what will your down payment be? If they don't know, oh, I have 100,000 saved. Great. Have you talked to a lender yet? Oh, we've got 2 great ones in our office. You know, can I send them to you? Or do you bank with, you know, who do you bank with? Sometimes it's good for them to start there and then come into a broker, because a broker has a lot more options. Maybe you find out they're a vet, right? They're a military vet. And if they're a vet, there's the VA loan. Hello, it says talking. Oh, that's Simon. Okay. All right, so they want us to role play, but it's hard when there's nobody here to role play. So we're going to go on, okay? So touch plans, A, B, and C to touch plans. So you have 19 connect, 36 to convert. 4 touches, this is your 4, 12, 2, 1. So you do 4 touches, right? Quarterly phone calls. 12 touches, a monthly email, newsletter, market report, or video, and or all. A monthly email is 12, right? I'm sorry, or a monthly newsletter. Some of them are print, some of them are email, videos. Those could be text. A lot of people will stop the texting because we get bashed. We are bombarded daily with, you know, political, with all that stuff. So your emails are probably going to be a little bit more efficient, and or another thing you could do is a newsletter with a video on a QR code. Do you know how to do those? I just did one that was fabulous. Nobody wants more info. Okay. So 2 touches, promotional direct mail, such as a magnet, calendar, printed market report. I've never done magnets. I've never done calendar. I hear they're very good. You know, those notepads. If you ask somebody who used that person, they probably didn't, because somebody came in when they needed it. Or that person may not even be in business anymore. Some of them have them for so long. 1 touch, annual event, party, movie screening, get together. You should always do 1. 36 is to convert. 4 touches, telephone calls. 26 touches bi-weekly. Offering some type of information of value, maybe about Prop 19 if it's a seller, maybe it's something that's coming to the community, maybe a big, I know they're talking about a bunch of these 600 units going over at Sears. That's a big deal. You need to know about those and send them to the surrounding people and say, we need to stop this. A lot of people stick their heads in the sand because they don't know exactly the details. So get the details. 2 touches, events, get-togethers, 4 touches, promotional direct, such as a magnet, calendar, etc. A high-value touch that solidifies the relationship you have established and open the door for future things. My thing right now is the reverse polls that I'm doing. And here's how to qualify sellers. Same thing. So let's say somebody calls in and says, or clicks on one of your ads, and they have a house to sell. 90% of the time they don't respond. Let's say they do. You get their name, their email, their street address, home phone. Say these are basic questions I have to ask. How did you hear about me? They'll say either Google, internet, something. Where are you moving to? You know, where are you moving? Why are you moving? Those are great questions. Why did you choose there to move? Maybe they've got grandkids, right? Maybe they've got their kids going to college there and they want to be near there. Who knows, right? But those are questions because you're going to use those when you're negotiating an offer or a sell. How soon do you have to be there? If I were to sell your home in the next 30 days, will that propose a problem for you? If yes, what would that be? If no, then you move on. Maybe it would solve issue or problem because they're not ready. They're not, they haven't even begun. They were just starting their process and that freaks them out. So you get a feel for their motivation from that. What would happen if your home did not sell? That is the key question for you to find out if they're really motivated. Can you tell me why? Anybody? Is there anybody else here or are they all?
What was the question?
Oh, it was number 6.
Number 5?
Number
Oh,
6.
number 6.
Yeah. What would you do? What would happen if your home didn't sell? Think about why that's so. Let's role play here. Who is that? Crystal?
Yes.
Right. So if you're calling in, right, I'm asking you these questions. What would happen if your home didn't sell?
Then most likely I would look for another agent.
Okay. So.
Or, the other questions that, things that could come forth is, maybe the appraisal doesn't come back at the appraised value that it's listed as, foundational issues. It could be a number of things.
Our job though, as agents, is to get through those problems. I think what this is a pre-listing questionnaire. Is really going to sell it, even if, what do you mean it's not going to sell? I need it to sell. Do you see what I mean? All of a sudden you're getting their motivation.
Okay. I
So
see.
I have some buyers right now, it's a second home. They don't care if they sell it. They're just trying to get closer to the water. It may not be the right time to sell, right? So they're like, we're not reducing it. If somebody wants to buy it, they'll buy it. If not, great, we'll keep it until I find that other property for them. So that's what that's about, but it's your motivation on number 6.
Okay. I was looking at it from like it was something that, like the house was already listed, before and it didn't sell. Okay, so I got it. Got it now.
Remember, Crystal, this is a pre-listing questionnaire. It's when before you go to your appointment.
Okay, got it.
Because I'm not gonna go, I'm gonna send somebody else if it's not worth my time. If they say, oh, if it doesn't sell, I'll just wait. I'm not in a hurry. I know that talking price with them is going to be an issue. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Is this form posted anywhere or?
I don't know, but I have some I can give you guys if you email me.
Okay.
The forms are in the Ignite handbook.
Your handbook. Do you guys have?
And you can download it. You can download it in a PDF format. Now, Natalie in the office will give you the link, and you go to materials, and you can download the entire Ignite handbook.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
I have some too. So anyway, but these should be in your book. And then there's some other questions. How much do you think your home is worth, or how much do you want to list your home for? Well, that's ending it in a preposition. How much do you think your home is worth? Do you have an idea in mind what you want to sell it for? I mean, if you can get that up front, a lot of times they'll say, well, you're the expert, you tell me. I'm going to tell you, they have a number in their head. So you've got to get to that number, or you're going to be up against everybody, those yes men agents and say, sure, I'll listen for that. And know that in 3 months they'll get a drop in price and sell it. So just remember that. How much do you owe on a property? That's another one. That gives you an idea how much equity. What I call them is equity maximizers or equity. Do you want an equity valuation? How much equity you have in your home? When I have a conversation with them, this is your equity, this is your future, this is your money that you have coming to you at the end of this. If you talk about a CMA, everybody talks about CMA. So let's use different words, come up with something else. It says, I'll be sending you a packet of information. Will you take a few minutes to review it before we meet? So what I do is I have somebody drop off a basket the night before, 2 nights before my appointment that has a folder that has on the left side has all the forms I need them to fill out. It's questionnaires like what's your favorite feature, but just silly things. But if they fill it out and I get there, then they're probably my client. And then on the right are all the contracts highlighted where they would sign, says sample on it, but it's basically for them to get an idea of what you're going to be talking about. And then, you ask them, will you take a few minutes to review it before we meet? You want to make sure that they know to do that. And then, do you have any questions before we meet? Maybe the first thing they're gonna say is, what's your commission? Anybody want to tell me what you would say? Because that's what they're gonna ask. Has anybody done this, a pre-listing questionnaire or qualification?
No, not yet.
Okay.
No, I've done it, but just asking my own questions. I've never used this form.
Okay, so now you have one that you can use all the time. And the reason why is they were talking about the fair housing is, well, I never got that question, but they asked that person that. It all becomes construed wrong for some stupid reason. But always just say, oh, I used this form. I skipped that because they already answered it, and put a check next to it like you did. So basically, do you have any questions before we meet? They're always gonna 90% of the time to say, what's your commission? And I'll say, you know what, let's discuss that when we get there. I'll go over all of it when I see you. You'll get a full picture of my whole business plan for your home and leave it. Okay. And then you say, just so you know, our meeting shouldn't be more than an hour, say between 30 and 45 minutes. Is that okay? Yes. I look forward to meeting with you on blah, blah, blah date. So you've got their date, their time, and if you're meeting at their home up on the top there, okay? That's pretty clear. Helps you with the 6 questions and classify A, B, or C. Because if they're not ready to move, they're still a seller, they're just not ready yet. Those are what's going to help you get to that motivation. That's how you can, because you still may want to go on the appointment to meet. It may be a B, maybe somebody that's 30, 60 days out. Guess what though? That's now in your coming soon database for those buyers that you said, a property's coming soon. Do you see how that works? Now, I never call a buyer and tell them the address, but I'll call them and say, hey, I've got a lead on a property that may be coming on in 90505. And it seems to fit maybe what your criteria is. I haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna get an appointment next week. I'll let you know. They know you're searching. That's an easy touch. Okay. Yep, I am teaching. So that's it, okay? Role play, we're not gonna do that. So the touch plans are what we call in our company smart plans, I would say. Let's see, they want us to do touch plans. When you uncover any seller who is not able, ready, and willing to buy, that's weird, to sell right now, or buyers, they've got this mixed up. But anyway, that indicates there are future transactions, you may need to put them in your touch base. So now it's about time period, you put them as A, B, or C, or however your database is. What are your everybody understand this on your, to communicate with your database? Anybody have questions about it? What they're doing, or what they want to know if I'm doing, or how I do things, anything? I've been selling real estate for 24 years. Did 11 million in sales last year, so I could be helpful. Yeah. Damn, so I finally got some participation. Anybody? Okay, nobody wants them, okay. Let's, so lead follow-up plan, follow up, convert, stay top of mind, qualify your buyers and sellers. That's your plan, that should be. Follow-up is following up the previous ones that you had touched, right? Maybe it's 3-month plan, and now they show up in your tasks. And so it says, okay, it's your quarterly call for these people. You call them, hey, it's Lauren. I was just touching base. You've been in your home now. Maybe it's somebody that you sold. You've been in your home now 3 months. It's typical that you may need a service provider. Are you doing any upgrades? You need a painter or anything. You've been offering that. Yes.
What do you do if you have a call, if you make a call, they don't answer, then make another call and they don't answer?
Are these already
Time,
I do 3? Yeah, I do 1 email, 1 phone call, and 1 text.
in the same
3 in 1 day,
one day,
and then I do for 3 days.
for 3 days.
Yeah, and if they don't respond, they're probably your Ds, which means they're dead, but they're not. I'm gonna send them stuff, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, because what happens with those sometimes is I'll put them in the follow-up if they're buyers. I'll put them in the, like the one home on the MLS where it sends them info about, because they obviously followed up on something you said, right? So you want to know what that is if they followed up on. Like I've been getting hits on my bluff listing, so I know that they're probably in that price range or want to be in Riviera, is my guess. So now I'm gonna send them stuff from 1.5 to 1.8 in the Riviera that comes up and put them in there. They may never respond, but they're gonna now get emails from it. At least those MLS ones.
Did you show they open?
It does. Once you get your license, you'll see that in the MLS, it will say like MD Parsons, looked at her 1 home today. Which 1 home is the software they use, the program they use for us to send out our MLS. Convert, our job is to convert them, right? So how do we convert them? Those open-ended questions, giving them the information, being there when they have a question, touching base, giving them a question that they have to answer. Like I just posted on LinkedIn, is anybody planning on moving in the next 6 months? Yes, no, or maybe. I've got 2 no's and 2 maybes so far. So what? I've got 2 maybes. I go look them up. I look where they live. I dig a little deeper. They're now in my database for that. Okay. Stay top of mind. How do you stay top of mind? Anybody? Your social media, I see a lot of agents are great about doing those reels and TikTok. I hate TikTok. I won't do it. I log in and I don't get any work there because I'll be on it for hours. So I've had to get off of it. But reels, like I do lives, you could do top of mind. So that's a problem though. You've got your internet then, right? You've got your followers. How do you get the ones that aren't your followers? How do you get people that aren't in your group? You ask them to share it. You say, hey, share this out there so I can get more, everybody that shares it gets entered into a contest. Do something like that. Because I think we can track who shares. Can we not?
On certain platforms, yes.
Okay, on Facebook.
Not, I believe Instagram, no.
But Facebook, yes.
Yes.
Okay, so Facebook, I would do, hey, share this. Everybody that shares this gets entered into a thing and then have the drawing on a certain day, do it live so everybody sees it. I just did it for the SoFi thing.
Now on TikTok, actually, now you can see who actually looking at your photos or their page, or whatever.
Yeah, like I said, TikTok blows my mind. So anyway, stay top of mind. A lot of things you can do. You can do a charity event. You can do something, a food drive. I think Matthew took my idea and he took the flyers, put them on the bags, went up there and he got all these people that are participating. People want to help. They just don't know how. And if you give them something to do, like I do, I go to Trader Joe's, you go to your charity, like I go to New Challenge Ministries here in Torrance. I get their 501c3 thing, I take it to Trader Joe's, I give it to them and say I need a bundle of eggs, there's 301 bundle. Oh shoot, hold on, sorry people. Sorry guys, and so those kind of things you can do, stay on top of mind, you know, do things for others, because they're gonna know you're doing things for others rather than keep asking for business. There are people that cold call all day long, do you want to sell, do you want to sell? Well, what have you done for me lately? Right? That's how I do it. To qualify buyers and sellers, which you learn how to do. Oh, that's it. This is our, I guess we went through this pretty quick today, again, in an hour. Anybody have any questions? Concerns? Feedback?
Great job, Lauren.
Anybody? These are the things I go over at the end of each one, I think. Fix it now. Oh, there. So, as I say, do 10 blank of 10 conversations. Do not call lists. We have to remind you if you're going to cold call. Make sure that you're not on the list. I engage every conversation. The spirit of contribution. There's what I said. Make it like contributing instead of asking. And people are happy to have a relationship with me. You know, you don't have to role play. So this is a great little thing. You could do it every day. You could have a sheet that has 10 names on it. But we have that in our tasks on the commands. If you've got your database set up, it gives you your tasks of who to call that day, who to text, who to email. So that's what those are great for. Lead gen conversations, they want us to have these real play for, they don't have time. Update contacts, so that's when you can do, that's another reason for follow-up. You know, it's, hey, I'm updating my database. I've got you at 423 Main Street. I'm like, no, I've moved. You just found out they bought a house. That's how you found out. And guess what? You weren't the one that sold it to them because you weren't in touch with them. Oh, great. Oh, that's a new home. Are you renting your mind? Oh, I bought it last year. And you just sit and you just slump in your chair. But that's your fault. It's not theirs. Congratulations, that's great news. Then you hang up, you update the info, you send them a card, congratulations on your new home, and you move on. Because guess what, in 7 years, I'll probably want to sell it, so you want to be that agent that still keeps in touch with them. Okay, that sucks when you get that message. Celebrate your successes. Use command and connect to help get help. There's tech-enabled agent, and then the next session is when the buyer. Okay, everybody. See you later, alligators. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Suzette. Bye, you guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Question,
Thank you.
Oh, question.
Yeah.
and I know this sounds like a rookie
It's
question,
okay. There's no
but everybody in your database, you contact them and you do a touch plan. Everybody, no matter whether they've
Right.
expressed any kind of desire to buy or not buy, everybody does a touch plan, correct?
I do. I give everybody one because guess what? If somebody they know walks up and says, hey, I'm thinking about selling my house, who do you know?
Okay.
Right, Chris? Doesn't that
Yes,
make
true, true.
So, or maybe their cousin's visiting from Idaho and decides they want to get out of the snow. I need to lease. Who do you know? Oh, I got this email from Chris yesterday.
Okay,
So those are those Ds. Remember the ones I told you, A, B, C?
right, yeah.
No, then you've got D, I call them dead leads. They're still in my database. Like I've got people from college and high school that are in my database. You know what? They participate in the contest, they participate in all that stuff because they know me and they know I'm gonna follow through with them. And guess what? Because they're winning and because they're participating in my things, they're gonna tell people about me.
Okay.
So I say yes. And did you guys know that if you have, I know on an iPhone, I don't know about an Android, but have all of you gone through and clicked on your contacts? You know, the little man on the bottom and gone down to that number sign on the bottom below the Z.
Yes.
And it says, mine says 5,191 contacts.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
That's your database, you guys. Some of them might be duplicates, right? But, or dead, or yeah, actually some of these people on my phone are dead, but that's your database. So what they do is with command, you know, with Sean Hasler and Scott, they help you download your info into a spreadsheet. You can clean it up. Like I go in and say remove duplicates. It's easier once it's in a spreadsheet, right? And then you go in and maybe there's a name, Sandy Smith, and she has a phone number, but Sandy Smith has an email on a separate line, merge them, put them into one. It takes a little time. Now you may be down to 4,000. Who cares? But now you've got a clean database. Then you upload that to command and you go through A through Z, you know, A and D, maybe the first, you know, A and B, or I don't know if you guys have seen the T2 thing that Keller Williams has. They have 26 weeks, actually 52, but it's 2 times a year you go through the database, through the email, because it's two letters of the alphabet, right? The name starts with A, or let's say D, and then you text a Z, and then A, then B and E, and you text to C. You know what I mean? So they give you a guideline to follow, because otherwise we stop doing it. I know I'm guilty of that. So have you guys seen that? If not, I don't know how to get it to you. I can take a picture of it and text it to you guys. It basically is, or it might even be in your, if you ask Natalie for the book, look for, I think it's called D2T2. And it's basically about when to call, who to call at what week. Or text or whatever. So the gal in my office, Pilar, she'll call and she'll go, hey, Jose, this is Pilar. I haven't talked to you in a while. How's things? That's it. Oh, what, you know, the fourth, family. How's the family? Oh, are you still working at Tesla? Whatever it is. Oh, yeah. And then they'll ask you, how's your job? Oh, well, you know, I just started working with Lauren Cotner over at Keller Williams. We're the Cotner group. And then, oh, really? I didn't know you were doing real estate now. All of a sudden, there's the conversation. And then you keep going. So what did you guys go anywhere for the family vacation? Don't stop because you got that answer. It's obviously then why you call, right? You want to have a genuine conversation. Oh, how did you guys go any recreation, right? Did you go anywhere for the summer? You know, where are the kids going to school? You know, whatever. And then D, dreams is, I don't know how you have that conversation. Oh, I heard your daughter's getting married. Isn't that great? You know, something, right? Because you're always stalking their Facebook pages. If you're not, you should be. And there's a way to take all of your phone numbers, okay, in your phone that I told you about, those 5,191. And I haven't figured it out yet, but you can upload it, all this information into Facebook, and now it'll reach out and invite them to your page. Hello? Crickets. You think they'd like me?
Wow.
Chris?
Yeah, that was very helpful. Thank you.
I was hearing crickets. I want to hear like fireworks, you know, that kind of thing. I think that it's important to know
Yeah.
that in this shifting market, in my opinion, this is not Keller Williams. Well, maybe it is. Because my opinion is we need to stand out of the crowd. How are we going to do that? You don't do what everybody else is, or you do what they're doing, but more. Okay? At work, I can't always speak. Okay, Kendall, it's okay.
I have a question.
Yes, Suzette.
So I heard what you said, and the trash truck was going by, so I didn't hear that well. The last thing you said. So I've gone on to commit. I mean, I've uploaded my contacts in the spreadsheet, and I'm weeding them out. And every day I do a certain number. I weed out a certain number, so I'm not overwhelmed with trying to do it all at once. But then you said I could take that and copy those phone numbers into Facebook. What was that part that you said? I didn't hear.
So what I understand, and I haven't done it yet, there's a link to do it, but you can probably Google it or YouTube. Okay, there's a way to take all of your info and upload them as, so let's say you want to do a Facebook ad and you only want to target people you already know. Well, that's called a target market. You can put in a target market for anybody, anything. If you have a bunch of LinkedIn things and they're not on your Facebook, allegedly there's a way, and I'm not techie, that's the problem. I get my head spins, right? But there's a way to take your info from your phone and your spreadsheets and upload them into Facebook. And then when you have a Facebook, like if you have a Facebook business page, I connect that to my Facebook, Instagram. So if I do a live on Facebook, it goes automatically to my Instagram. You want them speaking to each other because it's one less thing you have to do.
Right, they're synced.
Right. I mean, and I just learned that last month. I'm like, what? So I did it the opposite the other day. I did a live on Instagram and it didn't go to my Facebook page. And I was like, well, what did I do wrong? So I think you're supposed to go the other way. Anyway, so there's all these things you can do. The other thing is you can do polls in LinkedIn when you can't in Facebook. They used to allow it. The only way you can do a poll in Facebook now is in a group. So I would stop doing Facebook pages and I would do Facebook groups.
Okay.
Yeah, I was always I had groups before. I don't know what the difference is. Maybe group, I don't know. I've got a business page on a business group, right? Facebook's doing a lot of changes and they're discriminating a lot on any free speech. So just keep it generic. Watch your fair housing on Facebook because people are reporting you. So don't say master bedroom, say primary or owner suite. Don't say great for a family because now you're discriminating against people like me who are single. No, I don't care. But I'm just saying, everything we say now, they're watching us like hawks. That's why people aren't doing it. They're afraid of Uncle Sam, you know, or the people that are, because every time I post a listing, I'll get a notice from MLS that says you're in violation. I'm like, what did I do now? They have people watching us. You know, maybe I dotted an I. Oh, I know what I did. I had given away an incentive if they did something. So you can do an incentive, but you can't make it if they do something. So that's that. But you guys, what I want you to do, this is a really good idea. I would sit down. What's this month? We're in August. Figure out for 1 month, for the next 6 months, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, up to February, 6 different things you guys can do for monthly touches. Okay, so September's Labor Day, or concerts in the parks, you know, or the beach fest thing or something. Or find out in your community what's going on in that month. Go on your city website. They have calendars, all of them do. Maybe there's a museum in town, you know, maybe there's an art show in town, something. You can either buy the tickets for it, if it's free, like a free concert, say, hey, I'm gonna have an area with the tent up, come by. Like we're doing a Tom Petty thing over at Wilson Park this Sunday coming up. They're having a Tom Petty cover band. Oh man, we're all going in with our, Tom Petty shirts and all that stuff and kind of hanging out, potluck. But it's just it's a way for you to, hey, you guys, there's a great concert coming. If you want to join me, I'm gonna be there. I'll have the red chair or the red umbrella, whatever it is, right? Let's go at 2 instead of 4, that kind of thing. Come early, bring food, potluck, maybe have a sign-up sheet. There's a lot of things you can do to be in front of people that don't cost you anything. Right? So anybody else? Questions? I'm keeping that open now because I keep missing the questions on the chat.
I gotta get a cricket button.
Uh-huh.
I didn't get your button with the cricket.
Oh, you're gonna do a cricket. He's gonna do a cricket button now. That's hard for me to do this, this teaching when I don't have participation. I'm one of those that likes, like looking at you, talking to you, pulling information out of you, because to me, it's just like when I'm with a seller or a buyer. I ask the questions, I get the answers. I know now how to direct that conversation. Just because it says what to teach you doesn't mean it's what you need.
Yeah, they're more.
These are evaluation, right? Right. Yeah, not that my way is the right way, it's just my way. But you can take from it or leave it, right?
True.
So the other thing, you guys, as I've learned, is I will tell 20 people a great idea, one will do it. And then the other 19 sit around going, I don't understand why my business isn't growing. So that's why I always say, when you're in these classes and if there's something that really, what's the word? Like hits your heart, or you're like, yeah, I could do that, then do that. Just do that one thing. Because you know what, when you're done with that, and that goes like, right? Consistency is everything. I think I told you were in this class where I used to go up to Placerville Ranch, and they had this in the bathroom, they had this big porcelain tank in the water, and it had a drip on it. Yeah, and it drips, and it was down to the metal. Down to it rusted through. How does porcelain go through to the metal? I was like, how does that happen? Consistency. The drop kept dropping from the same spot for years and years and years and years, and it broke through. It broke through. So consistency is your breakthrough, I guess. That's how you break through, guys. Do the same thing over and over and over and over again. And when you start doing any mailers or any lead gen that way, it takes 7 hits before somebody will respond. Just FYI. Proving marketing 101. And most people quit after the 5th. Okay. I was just trying to kill some time, so it didn't look like I didn't do my job. It's only a 2-hour class. So you guys good? Any other questions? Question? No? Okay, we're gonna stop the share. See you guys. I think I have one more class to teach this week or next, and then you guys get to graduate soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Call me
Thank
anytime
you.
if you have any questions, okay?
Okay.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Go crush it. Stop share. There. Oh. There we are. Hi. Oh, see if I didn't get it. You couldn't see me. Oh, well. They saw my legs. They saw Jose.
You should give me one of your kind of ribs.